presented about our materials before. Then, before we explain, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Valerine Qory Mustofa.
And my name is Latifah Listiawati.
I'm Ria Dhaturahimah.
My name is Yuvirawan.
And I'm Aulia Pretyna Ramadanti.
So, alright, now let's hear our explanations about the materials. Happy watching!
Okay, the first material is about typological universals, relative clauses. So the definitions about typology. Typology concerns itself with study of structural differences and similarities between language. Universal are patterns that with respect to some structural features are true for all languages. For example, apply to all known languages. And then relative clauses are clauses starting with the relative pronouns who, that, which, whose, where, and when. They are most often used to define or identify the noun that precedes them as an adjective. Relative clause can be attached to the end of a matrix clause. What is matrix clause? Matrix clause is a clause that contains a subordinate clause. For example, the police have shot the man who bombed the hotel. Or they can be embedded in the main clause. The man who bombed the hotels has been shot by the police. And then after that there is accessibility hierarchy. Accessibility hierarchy is the implicational in the sense that a presence of relative pronouns functions low in the order in a particular language implies the presence of all the pronoun function above it but not those below it. Okay, for the relative pronoun function, subject. For example, the writer who won the Booker Prize is my lifelong friend. And then direct object. For example, the writer whom we met won the Booker Prize. And then for the indirect object, for example, the writer to whom I introduced you won the Booker Prize. And then for object preposition, for example, the writer with whom we had dinner won the Booker Prize. And then the last is object of comparative. For example, the writer who I have written more books than has won the Booker Prize. And then the next material will be delivered by Firdi.
Okay. Next, we will have universal grammar. Chomsky argues that language is governed by a set of highly abstract principles that provide parameters which are given for equal setting in different language. And also, Chomsky said that the theory of a particular language is grammar. The theory of languages and the expressions they generate is universal grammar. Okay, next. Okay, in the theory of universal grammar, was purpose, suggesting that all children are born with ability to acquire, develop, and understanding grammar, regardless of where or how they are raised. In universal grammar theory, universal principles form part of the mental representation of language, and it is mental grammar that mediates between the sounds and meaning of language. Properties of the human mind are what makes language universal the way they are. Okay, the next material will explained by Pretyna.
Next is learnability. Chomsky has argued that the input to which children are exposed to insufficient to enable them to discover the rules of the language they are trying to learn, and then this insufficient is referred to as the poverty of the stimulus. And then for example, a child learning English needs to discover that sentence like this ungrammatical sentence. For example, Sam kicked Percy his toy car. And then because English does not permit an adverb, between the verb and the direct object, can be learned by the basic input, and also it is make the positive evidence and negative evidence. In the case of first language acquisition, there is a logical problem, and then the answer, according to Chomsky, is that children must have prior knowledge of what is grammatically possible and impossible, and that this is part of their biological endowment. So that's all for me, and the next material will be delivered by Latifah.
Okay, the next is the critical period hypothesis. There is a period during which language acquisition is easy and complete, and beyond which it is difficult and typically incomplete. There is considerable evidence to support the claim that L2 learners who begin learning as adults are unable to achieve native speaker competence in either grammar or pronunciation. So the example of this case is Jenny. She was isolated, so she never get the how to pronounce, how to speak with others, and how to respond others. And then the next. However, the success of learning of a language depends on the way first or second language are acquired. For instance, the differences in the social condition in which L1 and L2 learners have some kind of impact. And then, next is access to UG or universal grammar. There is no agreement about how adult L2 learners have access to universal grammar. There are some theories about it. First is complete access. Learners begin with the parameter settings of their L1, but subsequently learn to switch to the L2 parameter setting. And then, no access. The learners cannot access on universal grammar, and the learner really on general learning strategies. And then, partial access. Learners have access to parts of universal grammar but not others. And the last one is dual access. Adult L2 learners make use both universal grammar and general learning strategies. And for the next will be delivered by Valerine.
Alright, now I will explain about the next material, which is markedness. Markedness is something common in the worst language, that the structure of the language itself is natural and basic than the other structure. And then the next material is cognitive versus linguistics explanations. L2 acquisition is to be explained in terms of a distinct and innate language faculty or in terms of general cognitive ability. The existence of different components of language that are learned in different ways, some taught by UG and others with the existence of general cognitive abilities. Okay, I think that's all from our group. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. That's all from our group. Thank you for watching this video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.